So
Ouch.
when code replaces law and judgment, it's very rigid. It's really great because it's immutable and it works, but these things happen.
You better hope the inputs are correct.
So
You better hope the inputs are correct.
So somebody wrote a smart contract that was called the DAO.
The DAO project.
DAO, which stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, which was basically, let's do venture capital with no venture capitalists.
Yes.
And
everybody was going to vote on where to invest.
That's right. First, everyone puts money into this contract, and then you get voting shares proportionate to how much money you put into the contract.
Right.
And then startups would come along and be like, I would like some money, and they would go into a queue, and then the community would vote on, do we want to fund this thing? And so there were some rules. Now, this
Seems like the SEC would have a problem with this.
The
SEC does not like the idea of people being able to just randomly put money into things.
That's a whole other can of worms.
What is good, y'all? What is good? Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to another episode. And you see the thumbnail, you already know we're talking XCN. That's right, it's been a minute, but there's so much going on behind the scenes with Onyxcoin and people are just missing it. But before we get into all that, you already know that Focused Army Roll Call, YouTube channel members, what up, what up? It's been so many changes, man. Y'all are holding it down for the squad, man. Definitely appreciate y'all. And Patreon and Telegram members, it's about to go down. It's about to go down. Y'all already know. But last announcement before we get started, man, BTCC Perpetual Futures Trading. If you're looking to get into trading, I can definitely say that Perpetual Futures Trading is a roller coaster ride, man. It's been the craziest feeling ever. But QR code on the screen, save yourself some ducats on the fees. And now we got Onyxcoin leading from the back, aka JPM Squad Part 2. The US has just signed legislation that will accelerate movement into the digital economy faster than anyone thought possible. Owning utility assets that are set to become part of the economic infrastructure presents an opportunity too rare to ignore. You are now tuned in to ShookFocuz, and it is time,
Previously on ShookFocuz.
JP Morgan has rebranded Onyx, one of the world's first bank-operated blockchains, and plans to enhance the platform to drive broader adoption of blockchain technology and tokenization across mainstream financial services. The platform will now be called Kinexys, and the company's payment settlement system, JPM Coin, will be rebranded as Kinexys Digital Payment. But this is what immediately stood out to me. Who else do we have right here? The other Onyxcoin backers, Visa and Fiserv. And not only that, but they tipping up towards this major players area. And there's JP Morgan Chase right there. And we're joined by former Bank of America CEO, David Coulter. This is the Focus Army, and Carnegie Mellon got us. Served as Vice Chairman, Managing Director, and Senior Advisor at Warburg Pincus. Mr. Coulter retired in September 2005 as Vice Chairman of who? That's right, JP Morgan and Chase Company. So we now have not one but two former JP Morgan employees associated with XCN, Senior Managing Director at Greystar, and another former JP Morgan Chase employee. Oh my.
It's time to shake the focus up. Sick of being sick and tired, tell me if you had enough. Yeah, it's Shooks in the building now. We ain't missing nothing. We gon' catch you if they gotta roll.
So in this one, we're gonna be visiting the idea of digital everythings. Just a little bit. Never would have thought when naming the channel ShookFocuz Digital that we would literally be getting front row seats to seeing the digitization of everything. But somehow it just worked out that way. I guess that's due to the shaken focus. To kick off today's content, we're going to be visiting the blog section over on Chain. In a recent one, they talk about the digitization, or what we'll use today, the tokenization of books and stories. It states that the blockchain greatly improves the preservation, control, and literary value of these items. Preservation is one that I wouldn't argue against, and control either. although it's questionable if that's going to all shake out in a good way for some of this stuff. But literary value, kind of hard pressed to value anything over the handmade or hard written, but there's definitely monetary opportunities that don't exist with hard copies. NFTs, of course, would be the first thing that come to mind. Now you can add smart contracts to the work and embed royalty definitions and eliminate a lot of middlemen. And people getting credit for their work is never really a bad thing. But adoption of NFTs still has a few hurdles. Royalties are primarily paid out in crypto or stable coins, neither of which at current state have fully been adopted, but we know that's not far away, especially with the July 2025 legislation taking place in the US. But it don't stop there. How about tokenization of deeds? This one again brings that double edge. The business definition here is, of course, safety and fraud prevention. But looking past that, if somebody was trying to own something in totality, in the future, it's possible that that could be more difficult. Real estate agents, sorry, this might be an L. But at the same time, from an investor perspective, this opens the opportunity for shared ownership for income properties. And we know Chain and Onyx have already been testing loans against your digital assets. Remember CryptoPunks and the NFT craze? That's exactly what your property would be, an NFT. Now note here that even with all the changes that have taken place around Chain and XCN, it still says that the Onyx Layer 3 can handle this use case, and it mentions that it's high caliber. I don't believe that's by mistake. And last thing to point out before we jet away from the blog site, if you didn't catch it from the last piece, this is showing that Chain has really always been associated with XCN. Let's take a look at the post about blockchain AI agents. Blockchain AI agents are not just glorified bots. They are autonomous entities capable of making decisions, executing actions, and learning from outcomes independently. These agents can gather data both on-chain and off-chain, process it using advanced machine learning models, and then act based on strategic objectives like maximizing investment returns while minimizing risk or improving productivity. While AI agents have a significant number of features, the number of features specific to different AI agents can vary in how they operate. Those such as the AI agent from Onyx Protocol have the ability to facilitate users in easily deploying tokens, moving assets, and performing other tasks while having access to their own agent-specific wallet to conduct transactions. Now, first, this is going to be impressive when it's actually live, but also this again creates a way that people can cause token strain without even knowing it. And by that I mean using the tokens which pull against the supply. Specifically the parts about deploying tokens or moving assets, even the part about the agent needing that specific wallet. But deploying a token requires a ledger, and we know Chain's default ledger runs on sequence. So, and we know from previous videos that that's sequence is intended to handle the ledger for you. Then the moving of assets, if your assets have to flow across chain cloud, we get another pull on tokens, and we covered this as well. Check out the Onyxcoin and Tron video. The tokens for these projects are going to be so important in the future. Owning a piece of that infrastructure, USDC, USDT, and digital representations of these other national currencies, those are meant to be spent on your everyday items. But these utility tokens, they hold a different value. Let's actually take a look at JPM coin for a short explanation. The top 3 use cases are international payments, securities transactions, and treasury services. But it also says that most retail investors will never own a JPM coin because it's intended for big institutional clients of JP Morgan that have undergone some regulatory checks, like corporations, banks, and broker dealers. Now, I know some of y'all getting that instant recall because it's absolutely right. It sounds just like Adam's description of solving these use cases from that interview. And we already know they can handle international payments and securities transactions.
That was the aha moment for our company because
Right.
they played back something to me that I was not expecting. They played back, we don't think our clients want to use Bitcoin at the point of sale. We're not getting asked by our, customers to hold this in their portfolios. But if you could make a security move between our back office and the bank's broker dealer, the way this moves, we want to talk to you. Or if you can make a credit card payment go through without it costing 3% for the merchant and take 2 days to actually hit the bank account, we want to talk.
And now y'all know what time it is. Now y'all know what time it is. For the week, this is your opportunity to click off the video because it's time for that extreme speculation. Y'all already know what it is. We about to go. Kinexys. Kinexys by JP Morgan. My, have they been busy? And boy, oh boy, is this timing the wildest coincidence. Let's get it. Starting with the Onyx Goliath white paper. Well on its way to being official, but combined with what we finna mention next, it's packing extra heat. It's a few things in this white paper that just kept drawing my attention, kept bringing me back. And first up was IoT and supply chains. Over on the JPM Global Tech Applied Research Overview page, IoT is listed as one of the focus areas. The immediate areas of focus include the field of quantum technology, augmented reality and virtual reality, cloud networking, Internet of Things, and blockchain and cryptography. We see the match on the IoT. Cloud networking, that triggers chain cloud thoughts. But this augmented reality and virtual reality piece, that also brings me right back to chain. Check this out. A lot of people came here, but were you paying attention? The New England Patriots. Chain, the leading Web3 software solutions company, and Craft Sports Entertainment are excited to announce a multi-year sponsorship agreement with the New England Patriots, New England Revolution, Gillette Stadium, and Patriot Place. Naming Chain as their official blockchain and Web3 sponsor. As part of this newly formed partnership, Chain and Craft Sports Entertainment will also explore ways to develop state-of-the-art Web3 experiences while utilizing Chain's award-winning suite of products and services. Then it finishes off letting us know that Gillette Stadium is already world-class physically, but together with Chain, they aim to merge the physical with the digital. And that was just 1 month before we got this commercial. Let's keep it going. Flipping back to the white paper, it was something else that just kind of felt out of place. Healthcare data audit trails. Why would this finance DAO have anything to do with healthcare data audits? Goliath supports compliance with HIPAA, GDPR, and other regulatory frameworks. Thinking about Chain and Onyxcoin, healthcare data wasn't really computing. But if we look at JP Morgan, who acquired Instamed in 2019, which is a healthcare payments business, then it definitely makes a little more sense. And if so, it could be bringing $90+ billion worth of healthcare transactions. Oh my goodness. we got one more white paper thing. One more. Real-time ESG and carbon credit tracking. That's mighty interesting, ain't it? I could have sworn Kinexys just announced on the same day that this white paper was ratified that they are moving into carbon markets with blockchain. Case closed. Case closed. I ain't even want to do this next one. I ain't even want to do it. The Focused Army made me do it. We got another heavy hitter to add to the JPM Association list. let me introduce you to Jay Haas. And Jay is a triple whammy. Check this dude out. Hit number 1. Jay is a strategic advisor for RRE Ventures. Hit number 2. He's a general partner and CFO for Alicorp. Both investors in XCN. And hit number 3, you got it, another one. Another former JP Morgan employee, former director of the JP Morgan China Fund. So if you keep in track, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 former JP Morgan employees associated with Onyxcoin, baby. But you know we can't stay high for too long, man. We got to bring it down. People get mad at us. They start saying you can't take the focused army nowhere. So we bringing it down and bringing it back down. We taking a look over at XCN. We see it hovering just over a penny. But the more we look at this thing and what it can do, the more I tell myself I might need to go back and recapture some of that. Not financial advice, but coming up on the channel, Chain is back, and if we haven't by the time you see this, we're gonna be doing a live stream to check in to see why or how that might be. And we're gonna go ahead and end this thing with a question. Do you think it's a coincidence that the Goliath white paper matches up to so many JPM use cases? You know what my answer is. What's yours? And until next time, don't get shook. Stay focused. And I'm out.
So the stuff is documented. The stuff is out here. I'm so tired of people saying, oh, well, the partnerships aren't confirmed. Yeah, they are. They've been confirmed and confirmed again and confirmed again and confirmed again. Shout out to Mr. Forsyth. He was saying it. He was like, you'll show them proof and you'll still, and they'll still. And also, by the way, since we're kind of on this note and we're talking about XCN, guess who funded XCN? Okay, funds and backers for Onyxcoin. Fiserv. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And it looks like to me, and shout out to ShookFocuz Digital. He's like the honest coinologist out there. I think he made this connection too, where he basically said Onyxcoin is JP Morgan. Onyxcoin is BlackRock. I think he might be right, bro. I think he might be right.
Given the information that we've gathered here today, when I look at Onyxcoin, I now see Vanguard and BlackRock. And that's interesting because Vanguard is the largest shareholder of, you guessed it, JP Morgan Chase. Here we go to institutional shareholders. Vanguard, we already knew that in the first video, but I completely ignored BlackRock sitting right here. I completely ignored it. That's why the names are the same, because they're stemming from BlackRock. Look at this. It's a BlackRock, bro. It's a BlackRock. It's just a play on words. Watch this. Where my Pokemon fans at? Onyx. He's a rock, bro. Just a black rock. Now, if it turns out that Onyxcoin is an actual product of JP Morgan, it's likely not something that we'll be able to easily verify in plain language until after the fireworks. But if you were to ask me if I thought these names were chosen by coincidence, you know what my answer is.